Hi everyone, this is RoyalFeline. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. This is my first ever Sims 4 speed build. I'm so excited to share it with you. Today I am building Gardener's Dream Loft. This house has a lot of plants, and later in the video you'll see that I built a greenhouse in the backyard. So I just thought that theme fit the best for this house. I have actually already made a loft, but that one has stairs, and I wanted to use ladders with this house because I haven't got to use it since they updated the game with ladders, which I actually think it's weird they didn't come out with ladders sooner when they first made the game. But I guess there was technical difficulties, or I don't know, maybe the Sims were just afraid to use ladders. However, there are a few new things I tried. The skyloft for one, which I think turned out really well. I just think there's something so romantic about having the sunlight and the moonlight on you when you go to bed. And I also put a split level living room, which I think turned out okay because there's the walkway that goes to the kitchen and the bathroom's right there, and then the stairs down to the living room, so it kind of just fits nicely. Unfortunately, there is some footage of the build missing because I thought OBS was recording, but it was not. However, it doesn't seem like it affected too much. You'll just kind of notice a jump, but nothing too bad. I spent a lot more time on the outside than I thought I was going to, but I'm really glad that I did. I think it turned out fairly well. I'm not saying I don't like the inside. I like the inside, but I definitely like the way the outside turned out, especially the landscaping. When I first made the build, I didn't think I was going to spend a lot of time outside. I thought I was mostly going to leave it blank for the most part, but I ended up adding a lot, and I'm glad I did. I think it goes really well with the house. Another thing I think I like is that the house is fairly small, at least compared to some of my other builds. So I really enjoyed having to fit everything in a tinier space. The bathroom is especially small, and I was worried I was not going to be able to fit a shower in there, but luckily I did. I also added a washer and a dryer. I don't know how many lofts have washers and dryers, but let's just say that these Sims are not going to the laundromat. Luckily, the size didn't keep me from adding activities either. There is a keyboard, there is chess, there is a computer, there is a TV. The only thing is that because it's a split level and the game seems to think that it's ground level, the TV is not functional. However, in my submission to the gallery, I have put a TV in the kitchen so the Sims will still be able to watch TV. In the greenhouse, there also was an issue where the Sims couldn't get around the plants, and I did fix that in the one in the gallery. You'll be able to plant things, your Sim will be able to sit in the chair, so I fixed all that. When I first started building The Sims 3 though, I used to be horrible about the size. I used to make my houses huge, and it wasn't even an interesting shape like this. It was really just like a box on top of a box, and that would be a mansion to me. And I'm really glad that in The Sims 4 it kind of helped me to learn how to make different irregular shape houses, because the box did not look good, and I'm just glad that I can make smaller houses like this, not just a gigantic house. And with a bigger house, you just worry about filling it up. I think the smaller houses are so much more fun because you can kind of focus on the thing that you're going for, not just filling it up to the brim with stuff. You can just kind of focus on what you envision for the house instead of trying to fill every nick and corner of this huge mansion. Also, the kitchen's small, but I like how it turned out. I just think it's cute and it fit that area perfectly. I like the cupboards, the way it goes around the corners, and the little island. Honestly, I wanted to put the sink in front of the window, but it ended up not fitting that well. I needed a place to put the oven. And I wanted curtains on the windows. I just wanted something little that covered it halfway, but a lot of the curtains were too big or too small or just gigantic and went through the oven, so I ended up choosing these cute little curtains. I couldn't choose between brown and green, but I thought green was okay because it was kind of a contrasting color to brown, so I think it worked out. This house is in NewCrest, by the way, on a 30x20 lot, and I think it fits really well on the environment and the green, luscious kind of look to it. I think this house would be made for 2 Sims without any kids, because honestly there's just not enough room for your kids. So honestly a sim couple would go really well in this house. Another thing is I had another plan when I originally made the pool, because I wanted to put it over in the corner so you could get to the hot tub, but it seemed like it was too small, and if I made it larger it came up against the fence. So what I ended up doing was putting a walkway through there so you could get to the hot tub, which I actually like doing because at night I put the little lights on the walkway, which I thought looked really nice. I think it's weird because in a lot of the builds that I have watched, not a lot of builders tend to look at their builds at night, which I feel like is a shame because you can add so much more depth to your house if you add lights at night. I didn't feel like there was room for lounge chairs either there in front of the pool, so I ended up adding a gazebo later and putting the lounge chairs there. It actually looks kind of tropical, which I think is nice. The greenhouse was driving me crazy though, because I wanted it to be bigger, but it wouldn't really fit in that corner of the backyard. And I kept trying to put it up against the fence, but the walls were merging with the fence and it was driving me nuts. So the greenhouse ended up being really small, but I guess that's okay because the loft is fairly small, so I guess it fits. But like I said earlier, it did cause some problems because your sim really couldn't get in there. There's only a few planters, so that's really all I could fit in there, but hey, at least they have a greenhouse. I was also unsure about the trail on the side of the house, but I think it turned out okay, and it kind of gave me a place to put the trash can. I try to put trash cans in my builds if I can, so the sims don't fill up their trash cans inside. Other times I've created a fenced off area for the trash can just to have a place to make it fit. But anyways, I ended up liking the little fountain in the front. I wasn't sure if it was going to really fit in with the scene. It's kind of funny because I didn't really have a lot of room outside. But yeah, I still ended up fitting quite a lot on the outside. Speaking of fitting, even though the bed went well under the skylight, the game would not let me fit the nightstands in there, so I did have to cheat my way into that. And I was worried it wasn't going to work right because the game was going to mess it up. But I did test it, and the Sims can get into the bed, so at least I was able to put the bed stands next there so I could put the lights there. I also ended up liking the plant bed. Normally I really don't like the plant beds that I make because normally the plants don't match or the rocks are kind of weird. It just doesn't seem to fit in front of the house. But I actually ended up liking this one. I've been using the darker dirt on the plant beds, and I actually like that more than a lighter dirt. It just seems to fit better, but I think it turned out okay. I don't normally do a lot of landscaping because it never seems to turn out right. Like I said before, I can never seem to get the plants to match. It just doesn't look like it belongs together, but I think it seemed to work out for this house. Maybe because there was a lot less room, so I didn't feel like I had to fill it up. There wasn't an overbearing amount of room. But I am glad that it turned out better than what I normally do for landscaping, which is the bare minimum. But I do think that houses that have a good amount of landscaping look better than those that don't. So I do prefer to have landscaping if I can pull it off. Here you can see this bare wall was driving me crazy. I decided that the pipes look good there. I haven't actually had an excuse to use those pipes yet. I know they're there for the apartments and city living, but I couldn't really find a good place for them to fit. I just needed to fill that space though, and I think they fit there. The spot above the door took me a lot longer though. As you can see, I went through a ton of stuff. It just felt too empty. Something needed to be there. I hesitated to use the fountain though, but I guess it looks okay. It gives it kind of fancy feel. I also like putting the flower beds inside the house. I think for a gardener that just fit. I don't think that I mentioned that the fireplace doesn't work either. The game thinks it's ground level, so just consider it there for the decor. I was considering using some of the flooring to make the path on the side of the house, to make it look like blocks of stone that had been placed, but I didn't really like the way that looked, so I used the terrain paint instead, and you can see it took me a few times to get that right. But in the end, I definitely think it looked better than the flooring. I also thought that putting an archway to walk under would be cute too. I was a little worried though that it looked out of place, and I thought at first that it did, but after looking at it for a while, I think it does fit. I almost always add those little outside lights to the pathways. I think it makes it look nice, but I also added a lot of lights on the right side too. I can't believe I got away with putting those little candles on the bird bath though. I think that made it look really cute. I've seen people use those vines up the side of the house though, and I think that looks nice. I unfortunately don't have the ones with the flowers, which I believe comes in University, but I'm not sure about that. I would have liked to use those if I had that pack, but I still think these look good too. I like that it gives the house an overgrown look. You can see I added a cart, flowers, and some pots. I think it really brings home that gardener theme. They're just kind of showing off their gardening skills. Honestly, I can't see only one person taking care of this many plants. Maybe their partner likes plants too, I don't know. I did try to fit plants in pretty much every nook and cranny of the house. I also love that coat rack shoe combo. I think it looks cozy and I've used it a lot in my builds. It makes sense to have it too if it rains a lot or snows. Judging by how many plants are around this house, I would like to think it rains a lot. But I tried to stuff the shelves with as much stuff as possible. I just think it makes the home look more lived in. If you like this house, you can download it off the gallery. My ID is violetangeleyes. You can also find it under the hashtag violetangeleyes or RoyalFeline. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And I hope to see you all later. Bye bye!
Get you out of my mind. It's like I feel it for the first time. Been thinking about you all night. I've been searching for this all my life. You're just my type. I've been looking for a boy who can treat me right. Your dark hair, but those eyes so bright. They look into my soul and it sparks my life. Can I take you there? Like it was the first time, do you remember? Can I take you there? Back to when we felt like this was forever. Can I take you there? Like it was the first time, do you remember? Can I take you there? You're all I need. Can I take you there? Can I take you there? For the wrong guys, they keep telling me it's alright. How could I be so blind? I've been searching for this all my life.